wants to know how to release and protect and strengthen. A lot of people, a lot of my clients and students always seem to have lower back pain. So this little flow is going to give you the opportunity to practice this at home. You can do it every morning or every evening before you go to bed, whenever you feel like your back needs it. This is the perfect little routine that you can do to release that tension in your back. So we're going to meet in a tabletop position today. So grab yourself a drink, get into something comfortable, and we will meet in tabletop. So here we are in our lovely tabletop position. Very important, just try and focus on stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips. So you're in this really nice position. I just want you to feel like, have a little rock around here and maybe just flex those hips a bit, find where your neutral spine is, and then slowly just settle into that neutral spine. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, really feel the grounding through your hands and the backs of your feet. Take another inhale, slowly dip the chin. Exhale. Just become present to how your body meets the mat here. So we're going to practice a little cow and cat pose, a little flow between the two. So from here you're going to take a nice inhale in your neutral spine and then exhale, curl the tailbone under and push each vertebra as high as you can towards the ceiling, pushing through your hands and feeling this lovely arch happening over the top of the back, and then dip your head and dip your chin into your chest here. Really push down through all 5 fingers, spreading those shoulder blades apart from each other, and then slowly we're going to take it the opposite way. So take an inhale at the top, exhale just from the hips, start hinging from the hip crease, dropping the belly down towards the mat, still pushing up through the hands. Open up the chest, look up, really spread that chest wide, pull the shoulders back down your back, open up that heart space, and really feel the benefit here in the lumbar spine, having that really lovely arch here. And then slowly we're going to come back through our cow. So come back, push down through our hands, curl the tailbone under, leave the head where it is until it gradually just comes down on its own. Bringing it in, deep into your chest, pushing the mat away with your hands. Breathing at the top, spreading your ribs wide, and then slowly come back into your neutral position. Give it a little rock out in your lower back, that should feel quite nice. So we're just going to do one breath to one movement now, and this should be really nice. Once you've got the actual process, the flow correct within your spine, and you can visualize what your body's doing, you can take it a little bit quicker. So take it into your nice neutral spine, inside of the arms facing each other so they're not knocking out, especially if you've got double jointed arms, a bit like me. So really focus on pointing the inside of those elbows towards each other. So take an inhale, exhale, round the back, come into your cat. Inhale, drop down to cat. Exhale, round into your cat. Really feel the movement, slow and easy. Slow it down, come back into your cow. Open the shoulders, push the mat away. Exhale, curling around. Really nice. 2 more here. Really make the movement as slow as you can. Pushing down through the backs of the feet. And And then when you're ready, come back into that neutral position. Slowly take your hands further away from your body, sit your bottom back onto your knees, and gently rest your forehead onto the mat here. So come into extended child's pose. So the more you can pull your bottom down to your knees, the more opening you get across the lumbar spine here. The other way to really expand those muscles is pulling your navel back to your spine deeply, and you just feel the edges here, just letting go. It's such a nice subtle movement, but once you get it, you can really enjoy this very nice, peaceful, static pose. You might want to drop your elbows and pull your armpits into the mat. Then you get a lovely stretch over the top of the back, underneath the armpits. Very nice. So slowly we're going to come back up onto our tabletop position. We're going to move our hands down to the front of the mat. We're going to drop our hips shoulder line, and then slowly we're going to dip those hip bones to the mat, coming into Cobra. And this position is really good for strengthening your lower back here. Anyone that suffers with bulging discs or anything like this is really good for a very slow rehab movement. So bring your body down, allow your forehead to touch the mat, and then slowly rise back up, pushing down through your 10 fingers, straightening your arms, looking up. Try not to take it into your glutes, so you really want to use your lower back muscles here. Slowly drop that chest forward, dip your head into the mat, inhale, push back up, spread your shoulders wide, lengthen through your arms, and exhale, slowly come back down. Great for strengthening your biceps and your triceps, this movement as well. So from here, we're going to push up through our hands, come up into our Cobra, then we're going to straighten our hands, pull our tummy back to our spine, and bend the knees, and then drop your forehead to the mat and come into puppy pose here. So we're now really coming into this beautiful opening through the chest, dropping down from the hips, allowing the armpits to fall down to the mat here. Very nice. And then very slowly you're going to walk yourself back up onto your heels, cross your heels over, and then come into a seated position onto your mat. So from here we're going to come into a supine position. So if you just come onto the mat and you're sitting with your sit bones, so sit nice and tall, and this, it's a childlike pose, this. I call it rock and roll, and it's really to lighten up the spinal cord, and it's a lovely way from getting from a seated pose into a supine position. So take the backs of your thighs with your hands, sit up nice and tall, really nice long neck, and then all you're going to do is just allow the body to fall all the way down through the spine. Try and keep your heels off the mat, rock and roll up that spine. 5 times, and really feel like every part of your back is having a little bit of a massage here, all the way up that spinal cord. And then very slowly, you can come to a position where you drop your feet down the mat. And then you're going to extend the right leg and bring the left knee into the chest. So for those of you who do suffer with lower back pain and find yourself sitting in a position where you're crouched over a computer, This is a wonderful, wonderful pose, because invariably the lower back gets a hit, and if your psoas muscle is tight, which is the muscle that connects from your lumbar spine all the way down to your hip bone, this is a great one for lengthening out psoas muscle. So the more you can bring the knee into the chest here, the more you're going to find this lovely stretch. You're going to find a lovely stretch over the top of the hip flexor here as well. Breathing deeply and really pulling the shoulder blades into the mat here. So feel like your shoulders aren't being rounded, you're pulling them back into the mat. 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to swap over the legs. So I'll demonstrate again. Lengthen through the left leg, bring the right leg up into the chest. And it really depends on your flexibility here. So if this is too much for you, you can maybe just keep your foot on the floor and just bring your heel back to your bottom. If you feel like you can bring your knee into the chest, then slowly pulling the shoulders back into the mat, then gently bring that knee down towards your chest. So these positions, these movements that we're doing here, you can hold for between 1 and 3 minutes to get the full benefit of allowing the back to really let go of tension. Flexing your foot here, breathing slowly and allowing the exhale to just trickle out of your body and allow everything to let go. 1 more breath here. Inhale, exhale, pull that knee into the chest. Very nice. And then you're going to bring both knees together, bring your ankles together, and just allow your hand to come out towards the side of you. So we're going to drop both knees down to either side of the mat here, gluing the ankles and the knees together, and slowly just allowing that movement to give you that beautiful twist in your waist. Try and plug the opposite shoulder into the mat here, so you feel the twist coming right over the lumbar spine, over the hip, down through the front body. And if you want even more of a twist here, there are multiple variations and modifications in yoga, and if you want a full spinal rotation here, very gently just roll your head and look over the opposite arm here. So wherever your knees are, look over the opposite arm. Try and pull both shoulder blades into the mat, and maybe you want to take your left hand over the right thigh and just encourage those knees a little bit further to get a bit of a tighter squeeze. Or if you feel like you're very flexible and you really want to go even deeper, you can cross your legs over each other and then just gently with your left hand rested on top of that right knee. So breathing deeply here and really allowing this the lower back, the arch in the lower back, just gradually drop. So with every breath, visualize the arch in the lower back, just letting go. The hips sinking into the mat, the glutes letting go. Really consciously aware of what your breath is doing, allowing your body to release the tension. Again, these movements you can stay into for between 1 and 3 minutes. Obviously, the longer you stay in these poses, the more benefit you're going to get out of them. So release your hand from that knee. Really pull your core back to your spine here, so you protect the lower back, and then slowly bring these legs back up to center. Glue the ankles and the knees together, and then we're going to drop them to the right side of the mat. Focus on pulling this left shoulder into the mat here, so the twist comes from the waist. Really feel from the mid part gorgeous stretch coming all the way over the top of this left hip. And then you know what to do. Gluing the knees together, or either you can place one leg on top of the other and come into these eagle legs, and then slowly look over the length of the opposite arm. Feeling like this arch in the lower back. Obviously it's going to be arched because you're in this position, but just close your eyes and allow that arch just to sink. Visualize the back of the ribs sinking into the mat. Feeling the knees heavy, letting go of the tension, and feeling your body surrender into this position. It's a great glute stretch as well, so you'll feel a really powerful stretch around your glutes. Very nice. So, with that said, we're going to pull the navel, tummy button back to the spine, bring the head back to centre, really pull those muscles in, and then slowly bring the knees into the chest. Having a rock from side to side, massaging that lumbar spine, just feeling or hearing for any pops of tension that you've just released. Hopefully the back's beginning to feel a little less tight now. So from here we're going to go into a bridge pose, so drop your feet to the mat, bring your heels back towards your bum, and then slowly we're going to make this lovely movement from this supine position into our bridge position. So we're going to inhale, flatten the lower back, exhale, arch the lower back. It might be nice if you bring your hands into cactus, your arms into cactus here, so you can really feel the benefit. Inhale, flatten the lower back. Exhale, arch it. Really overextend your arch here. And then inhale, flatten it. Exhale, arch. Now from here we're going to make the movement all the way up towards our bridge pose. So inhale, flatten the back. Then curl the tailbone under, pressing into those feet and beginning to lift the hips up towards the sky, sending the knees away in the opposite direction. So those shins are being really pushed as far away from the body as possible. Really using your glutes here to have this beautiful arch in your lower back. Feel the squeeze. Taking some nice big deep breaths, so you're really breathing in through the top of the ribs here, pushing down through both feet equally, and then very slowly you're just going to curl from the shoulders first. Drop each and every disc onto the mat slowly. Really find that this movement is allowing any tension to just be released. And then tip your pelvis out, and then flatten. Really nice. That should feel gorgeous. Okay, so from here, last pose. So we're going to bring our legs out to the side. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together into supine butterfly pose. It's Baddha Konasana. So I want you to focus on just allowing the knees just to drop out. Don't worry too much about your lower back first. Just bring the soles of the feet together and just find where that tension point is. Your knees are going to stop depending on how flexible you are in your hips. And then I want you to focus by closing your eyes and just allowing that lumbar spine, that lower part of your spine, just sink. Really just feel like it's giving up and allowing that space between your lumbar spine and the mat just get a little less high. Can't get my words out. So breathing nice and slowly here. This is great for if you feel like your spine has been compressed or your discs have been compressed. This movement we're going to do now is really going to elongate your spine, so you're going to sort of increase all of that space between each of your discs, and it should feel lovely. So taking your hands down to your hips with your thumbs pointing down towards the mat, you're going to push away with your palms against the top of your thighs, and then just feel your head lengthening. So feel like the crown of the head has been moved to the top of the mat, at the same time as pushing your hands up down to your thighs, and then slowly see if you can very slowly just curl that tailbone under, just very slowly, and feel that extension all the way down the base of your spine, all the way up to your cranium here. And being in this movement or being in this position, you know, depending on how long you stay here, between 1 and 3 minutes, you'll really feel an opening happening with your knees here as well. They're just going to, gravity is just going to allow your knees to fall out. Your adductor muscles, the muscles between and the inside of your thighs, are just going to slowly let go as well. So really find the benefit of pushing your thighs away and really elongating through your spine here. So breathing in through the crown of the head. Exhale, just feel your body melt into the mat. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Let everything go. Release your hands from either side of your thighs. Bring your knees back towards each other, and then bring your knees into your chest for a really lovely hug. Squeezing the knees up. Maybe you'd like to bring your forehead up to meet your knees into this beautiful fetal position. And then slowly we're going to rock ourselves up by taking our hands behind our thighs and coming up into a seated position. And that is you done for today. So there's some really easy, lovely exercises to release the lower back, and hopefully if you do suffer from lower back pain, that might have sorted you out for short term. But if you do it every day or even twice a week, I promise you it will really, really help. Anyhow, as always, thank you so much for joining me on the mat. I've really enjoyed your company. If you like us, give us a thumbs up. You can always hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you as part of our community. So I hopefully will see you tomorrow for day 7. But until then, have a wonderful day. Namaste.